Hello everyone, welcome yet again to another video lecture. Today we will be doing the second part or the second lecture of chapter agriculture, which we are from class 8th, which we were doing earlier. Myself Ashwin Joglekar and I am from Resonance PCCB division. So let us begin with the chapter that we have had left. So just a quick recap about the chapter. That is, we were looking at agriculture. We looked at the three types of economic activities: primary, secondary, tertiary. Then agriculture, how that word is being derived. Then agriculture, sericulture, pisciculture, viticulture and horticulture. Then what is the farm system, and then different types of farming we had looked. Alright, today we will be starting with some of the major crops. Now, as you can see, India has three cropping seasons, that is Rabi, Kharif and Zaid. Now, crops are sown in winter from October to December for Rabi and from April to June, and then this should be October. Sown with the onset of monsoon, harvested in September to October, and Zaid is a short crop season, that is between, practiced on the sandy tracts and along the river channels. Now, as you can see, wheat is the important crop here, Rabi, and paddy, that is rice, and here watermelons, cucumbers, etc. States where it is being practiced: Punjab, Haryana, Himachal, Assam, West Bengal, and this is in general. All right. So probably if you want, you can take a snapshot of this so that it can be covered. All right. Okay. So this is about the three cropping seasons: Rabi, Kharif and Zaid, and different types of crops are grown. And now about the food crops, you can see they are talking about rice here. So rice, there is a minor area and the major area. Probably I will just highlight it. This is the minor area where, right, and this is the major area, you can see, where rice is grown. All right, and rest is again minor area where rice is. All right. Now let us start with rice. Major food crop of the world. It is all given in points. Staple diet of the tropical and subtropical regions, that is part of our diet. Rice needs high temperature, high humidity and rainfall. It grows best in alluvial or clay soil which can retain water. And again, that is why it is a Kharif crop and requires a lot of water. China leads in the production of rice, followed by India, Japan, Sri Lanka and Egypt. In favorable climatic conditions in West Bengal and Bangladesh, 2 to 3 crops a year are also grown. Now next is your about wheat. Wheat, you will see the major area is Punjab, parts of Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh are the major areas in terms of wheat production, and then rest is minor areas. All right. Now wheat requires moderate temperature and rainfall during the growing season and bright sunshine at the time of harvest and loamy soil. Wheat is grown extensively in USA, Canada, Argentina, Russia, Ukraine, Australia and India. Okay. So you can see the two countries here which are at war right now. It's been long, and let's see when the war situation gets resolved between these two countries. So apart from this, that is why India, it's a Rabi crop and it's grown in the winter time, and finally during the time of harvesting it requires sunshine. All right. So therefore it is harvested during that time. Now to connect with this, I'll just take you once to the chart here. That is, you can see about Rabi crops. They are sown in winter from October to December. So that is a wheat, and harvested in summer because it requires bright sunshine. All right. So I hope you can connect it from there. All right. Moving further, then millets, that is coarse grains and can also be grown on or less fertile and sandy soils. Hardy crop that needs low to adequate rainfall and high to moderate temperature it requires. Jowar, bajra and ragi are grown in India, the types of millets, and other countries are Nigeria, China and Niger. Then maize requires moderate temperature, rainfall and lots of sunshine and well drained fertile soils. Maize is grown in North America, Brazil, China, Russia, Canada, India and Mexico. The leading producer is USA of maize. Moving further, for fiber crops, that is cotton, jute. Cotton, grows best on black and alluvial soil. China, USA, India, Pakistan, Brazil, Egypt are the leading producers of cotton, and it is one of the main raw materials for the cotton textile industry. Jute, again it is also known as the golden fiber, requires alluvial soil, high temperature, heavy rainfall and humid climate. This crop is grown in tropical areas. India and Bangladesh are the leading producers of jute. So, you can see everything is mentioned in points, so you can go through these points. Now, moving further, beverage crops, that is coffee and tea. Coffee requires warm and wet climate and well-drained loamy soil. Hill slopes are more suitable for growth of this crop. Brazil is the leading producer, followed by Colombia and India. Then tea. Tea is a beverage crop grown on plantations. This requires cool climate and well-distributed high rainfall throughout the year for its growth, for the growth of its tender, delicate leaves. Needs well-drained loamy soils and gentle slopes so that the water is not blocked there, flows down. And labor in large number is required to pick the leaves. Kenya, India, China, Sri Lanka produce the best quality tea in the world. Now, agricultural development, that is the next topic. Agricultural development refers to the efforts made to increase farm production in order to meet the growing demand of increasing population. Now, as we will see, or as population level increases, the food demand of people will also increase. So, therefore, to support this population increase, we have to grow more food, all right. So, therefore, this can be achieved in many ways, such as increasing the cropped area where the cultivation is happening, the number of crops we can increase, improving irrigation facilities so that more fields can be utilized, and because many of the farmers are still dependent on monsoons. Use of fertilizers and high yielding variety of seeds. Mechanization of agriculture is also another aspect of agriculture development. The ultimate aim of agriculture development is to increase food security, that is, people should have food available with them. Developing countries with large populations usually practice intensive agriculture where crops are grown on small holdings, mostly for subsistence. Large holdings are more suitable for commercial agriculture, as in USA, Canada and Australia, where again density of population is low as compared. Now, next topic is we will be looking at comparison between a farm in India and a farm in USA. All right. So, a farm in India, the size of an average farm is very small in India. This is chiefly due to the repeated division of land or a plot among the heirs of the cultivated generation after generation. That is, see, if someone has this plot of land, after that person expires, probably he had 2 sons. So, this plot of land will get divided between the 2 sons, and then later on, if this person also has 2 sons, and when he is expires or when he is dead, his plot will be further divided into 2 plots. If this person has only 1 son, this will retain with him. So, that is what generation after generation, the plot of land is getting divided. So, average size of the farm has reduced over the years. The land is intensively cultivated, double cropping and multiple cropping are also common. The farm produced is mainly for self-subsistence or sustenance, and there is very little surplus which can be sold in the market and to make profit from that. Use of machines is very limited, and most farmers are too poor to afford expensive farm machinery. As the density of population is high, manual labor is cheap and is widely used in farm operations. Because see, because density of population is high and manual labor is cheap, relatively cheap, so people do not like to invest in buying machineries for farming. For them, the better thing is having manual labor who can do all these things for them at a much lower cost. So, there is a limited use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides and improved seeds and modern methods of farming. This is partly due to the lack of awareness and partly due to the poverty. So, 2 things, lack of awareness and because of the poverty which they have. Now, there has been limited development of pastoral farming and mixed farming. The farm is used mainly for growing food, as the land is usually not used for growing fodder. Farm animals are fed on farm waste. No special provisions are made for housing these animals or caring for them. Seventh point here, the farm is usually managed by illiterate farmers. Schemes are now being introduced to raise their level of awareness. That is, the government has come up with various schemes and various initiatives to provide education to the farmers and how to make them literate about the various types of farming methods involved, the various types of seeds which are available, the various kinds of subsidies probably which the farmers can avail, the Kisan credit card or personal accident insurance scheme. All these things which are available to the farmers are also, that is, government is taking initiatives to tell farmers about this. Apart from this, also if you can see one more thing, that is on regional radio channels, government also airs programs which are again for these farmers. The yield of crops are generally low. So, to create awareness, that is what government is taking initiatives. Now, this we looked at about the conditions of farm in India. Now, we will be looking at how a particular farm is of the USA. That is, the average size of a farm in USA is much larger as compared to India. And a typical farm size in USA is about 250 hectares. This is because land is abundant there and comparatively population is low. That is, density of population is low and it is available cheaply as compared. The extensive type of agriculture is practiced there. Single cropping is usually practiced and with scope for growing fodder crops as well. Agriculture again is a commercial thing. Most of the produce is sold. As the local demand is small, it is sold or exported. There is large surplus which is exported. Farms are highly mechanized and most operations being performed by machines. As farms are large, the use of machines is a necessity. That is, manual labor again is not available also that much, and because again the amount of people available there is less, they will demand much more as salaries. Also, manual labor is scarce and hence expensive. High yielding varieties of seeds, chemical fertilizers, pesticides and modern methods of farming are used. So, there you saw that in India modern methods of farming were not used, and here in USA modern methods of farming are used. That is, in terms of India and in terms of USA. Alright, as the farmers are wealthy, they can easily afford all this. However, due to adverse effects of chemicals, farmers are now switching to eco-friendly or organic farming methods. Moving further, animals are also reared using scientific methods, and both on ranches and on dairy farms. Mixed farming is common, which is a boon to farmers in the event of a crop failure. If there is a crop failure, at least they can be supported. Fodder crops are grown to feed farm animals. Farm again is managed by well educated farmers who are aware of the latest techniques which are and developments in the field of farming or agriculture and conditions prevailing in the market. The yield per acre is lower than in many other countries, but the yield per worker is high. The farmer in USA like a businessman and not like a peasant farmer in India. Okay, now these are some facts. Organic farming is a type of farming in which organic manure is used. Shifting cultivation is known by different names or in different parts of the world. In different parts of the world. Then maize is also known as corn, and there are different versions about the discovery of coffee. And food security exists when all people at all times have access to sufficient, safe and nutritious food. Some of the keywords which have been mentioned here: arable land, primitive subsistence agriculture, organic farming and mixed farming. And now let us just go through the recall part of it. Okay. So, primary activities refer to extraction and production of natural resources. Secondary activities, processing of natural resources. Tertiary activities involve services. Agriculture is among the most important primary activity, again classified as subsistence or commercial. Subsistence crops are grown by a farmer for consumption of his own family or by his own family, further categorized into intensive and primitive. Commercial again cultivation of crops basically, or the sole purpose is for selling or making profit. Plant again cultivated on large scale is called a crop. Crops can be grouped under two categories: food crops and cash crops. Agriculture development involves increase in output of crops required for meeting the food demands of the growing world population and demand for also raw materials from the industries. All right. So, this brings an end to the chapter. Thank you so much.